friends, welcome back to my channel. Happy fall. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my fall TBR. Okay, so I'm going to put up on the screen on my Instagram. Hopefully you're following me on Instagram. I made these cute little spooky TBR templates that you can do on your stories. So I'm going to show you what mine looks like empty, and then I'll show you the completed one at the end. But feel free to go grab yours. I also have fall reading vibes if spooky isn't your thing. But now I'm gonna show you the books that I plan to read this fall. Hopefully, I have a stack of 20 and then a few honorable mentions. So let's get into it. So first, this fall I want to do a mixture of new releases and backlist titles. I've been really wanting to focus on backlist titles more because I have so many of them. I'm sure a lot of you can agree it just kind of gets out of hand sometimes. So that is definitely a priority for the rest of the year, is trying to get through some backlist titles, but also still enjoying my new releases. So first I want to, before I forget it, is my only one that I'm reading on NetGalley. It's Secluded Cabin Sleep 6. It's by Lisa Ugner, I think is how you pronounce her name. I've seen a lot of her books around. I've never read one, but I was gifted this one on NetGalley, so I'm definitely going to be reading it. It says, the little description here, it says, 3 couples rent a luxurious cabin in the woods for a weekend getaway to die for in this chilly, locked room thriller by New York Times bestseller. There's 3 couples. They go to this cabin. There's a deadly storm brewing. The rental host seems just a little too present. The personal chef reveals that their beautiful house has a spine-tingling history, and the friends have their own complicated past with secrets that run blood deep. And then it says, meanwhile, someone is determined to ruin the weekend, looking to exact a payback for deeds long buried. Who is the stranger among them? So I think it sounds great. Next is The Daughter of Dr. Moreau by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I love her. I've read 2 of her books, Mexican Gothic and The Beautiful Ones, and both of them were 5 stars. So I'm hoping this one will be a similar situation, and I love the cover of this one. The colors, everything about it is just absolutely beautiful. And so this one, they call it a dreamy reimagining of the island of Dr. Moreau, set against the backdrop of 19th century Mexico. I personally have never read The Island of Dr. Moreau, but in this situation, I'm kind of glad, because I want to go into it with no expectations, kind of like no idea of what the storyline is. I just want to, enjoy the story for what it is. So I'm very excited about this one. Next, A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreight. I just received her newest book, Friends Like These, and I want to read this one first before I pick that one up, because I've heard nothing but good things about this one. Let's see. I don't know if you guys are the same way, but a lot of thrillers and like horror and mysteries and stuff, I go into it not really knowing anything about it, so I can't really tell you much about a lot of these books, except that they have good reviews. People I trust have liked them. It's just that I think it's a woman learning secrets about her husband. Sounds like there's a murder. She's questioning her marriage. That's all I really need to know, and I'm excited to pick that one up. I need to stop saying I'm excited about everything, because obviously I'm excited about them if I'm going to read them. Next is Ink and Shadows. Apparently I had started reading it. But Ink and Shadows by Ellery Adams. This is the 4th installment. Let me check really quick. Number 4. What was number 3? Okay, yeah. So number 4 in the Secret Book and Scone Society series. This is one of my favorite cozy, it was actually like the first cozy mystery series that I really got invested in. So I just plan to read them all. This is number 4. Number 5 came out not that long ago, so I need to get to this one so I can get to that one. Next is one that I think a lot of us who enjoy thrillers, it's probably on your TBR. It's called The It Girl by Ruth Ware. I have a on-again, off-again love of Ruth Ware. I have hated many, and I have loved a few. But the ones that I love, I've really loved. So my favorite from her is The Turn of the Key. And then I think that was just her peak, her best. I hope that this one can stay close to that one. The other one I really liked was One by One. It was, you know, you make me nervous. You okay? Hey. Yeah, good boy. Lay down. Good boy. One by One was kind of basic, but in a way I think that is enjoyable. I'm hoping this one will be the next Turn of the Key. I think, is it about... I think it's dark academia, at least that's what I've heard from reviews. It looks like it's gonna be, yeah, a friend group, dark things are happening, a decade later, coming back, someone was murdered, we're gonna find out who. So, next is Stay Awake by Megan Golden. I have only read the Nights one by her, but I loved it. And this one is getting pretty mixed reviews from what I've seen, but I'm still really excited to pick it up. Thank you to the publisher, by the way, for this one. It says, a murder she doesn't remember committing, a killer she doesn't remember meeting, memory can be deadly. And I think she loses her memory. She can't remember anything from the past 2 years. There's a murder committed that she thinks maybe she had something to do with, but she can't remember, so sounds great. Next is Alice Feeney, Daisy Darker. Alice Feeney. I don't actually know if I have read an Alice Feeney. No, I enjoyed his and hers. I think that was mostly because of the audiobook, though. It was narrated by the guy who plays Mr. Is it Thornton in North and South? And he's in The Hobbit, so he just made it that much more enjoyable. But I think that's the only book of hers that I've liked. All the other ones I've pretty much not despise. One I did despise. The other one was just okay. There was one twist I remember in Sometimes I Lie that I thought was really good, but otherwise I thought the rest of the story was just okay. So I'm still determined to find one from her that I love. And I think if any of them could do it, it's this one. Sounds like a family reunion, crumbling Gothic house on a tiny tidal island. Love that. Nana is found dead. An hour later, the next family member follows. Trapped on an island where someone is killing them one by one, the Darkers must reckon with their present mystery as well as their past secrets before the tide goes out and all is revealed. So that sounds great to me. So fingers crossed that I find an Alice Feeney that I like. Next is The Hacienda. I have heard that this is similar or has similar vibes to Mexican Gothic because of the Gothic setting, and I think there's, oh, right here, Mexican Gothic meets Rebecca, 2 books that I loved. In this debut supernatural suspense novel set in the aftermath of the Mexican War of Independence, about a remote house, a sinister haunting, and the woman pulled into their clutches. I don't need to know anything else. This sounds fabulous and perfect for fall. Here we're going to get into some backlist titles, like more backlist titles that I'm excited about. So I haven't read a Karen Slaughter in a minute. I had to take a break. I was reading not the Will Trent series, but the other one. And I had to take a break. It was like back in high school when I like binge watched Criminal Minds, and I just like had to stop for a minute because I was having nightmares. So, but I'm ready to go back into Karen Slaughter. I think she is the queen of what she does. No one does it like her. But this just came out in a Netflix series, and the second book just came out, and I just got it, so I have to read this one first. So Pieces of Her. I don't know much about this one. I think it's something about a girl finding out things about her mom or something like that. What if the person you thought you knew best turns out to be someone you never knew at all? So the only thing about Karen Slaughter books is they are hefty. They're pretty long. And also, can we have a discussion about deckled edges? I hate them. I feel like most people love them, but I hate them. I feel like they make it so much harder to turn the page. Next is The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. I've owned this for such a long time. It's been on my TBR for such a long time. I'm hoping to actually do the audiobook of this one, and I heard that there's a movie coming or a series coming or something, so I'm ready to try this one. They're vacationing on a remote cabin in New Hampshire, a handful of miles from the Canadian border. On a summer day, as one watches grasshoppers in the front yard, a stranger unexpectedly appears. 3 more strangers come down the road carrying strange, menacing objects. In a panic, Gwen tells Leonard that she must go back inside the cabin, but before she goes, her new friend tells her, "None of what's going to happen is your fault. You haven't done anything wrong, but the 3 of you will have to make some tough decisions. I wish with all my broken heart you didn't have to." As she sprints away to warn her parents, Leonard calls out, "Your dads won't want to let us in, but they have to. We need your help to save the world." So, sounds interesting. Next is The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. I've read 2 Simone St. James books, loved them to death. She's absolutely an incredible writer, and I think this is the oldest one from her that I own. I think it takes place some kind of like boarding school in the 1950s, and then someone's returning back in 2014. A journalist, because somebody's body is found. I think from what I've read from her, there will be ghosty vibes, and just suspense and a great time. Next, I have a few witchy romances. I've decided this is going to be one of my vibes for this year. One I'm currently reading is The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling, who is also Rachel Hawkins, I learned recently, who wrote The Wife Upstairs and Reckless Girls, which both I have enjoyed. I'm about 100 pages into this one, and I'm having a good time. I love witchy vibes. It's just something I'm into right now, and add a little romance into it, and I think it's going to be a good time. Next, I have Not the Witchy Wed by April Asher. I haven't actually seen much about this one, but it sounds cute. There's a witch, a wolf shifter, I think maybe some fake dating. So, sounds great. Next is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and I've already seen a lot of positive reviews for this one. I think it's going to be, it says, a warm and uplifting novel about an isolated witch whose opportunity to embrace a quirky new family and a new love changes the course of her life. I think it's going to be witchy and found family and a cute little romance. I mean, they've got a guy here holding a stack of books, so I think all signs point to a good time. Next is The Family Upstairs. Can you believe I haven't read this yet? Also, I have this one sitting right here, but we're not going to pressure ourselves with that one yet. We're going to focus on this one. I hear a lot of positive things about this one. I feel like Lisa Jewell is hit or miss for a lot of people. I usually tend to enjoy her books. Usually they're like a solid 4-star for me, so I'm excited to see what the love is for this one and how it got so much love that there's a sequel, because that doesn't really happen very often in thrillers. Next is Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. This says fall, doesn't it? These colors, these vibes, everything about it. I loved Wilder Girls last year. It was in my top 5 of last year. I loved her writing, her atmosphere, the story, everything about it was fabulous. So I'm hoping this one is just as good. I don't think it has as good of reviews. Well, I guess a lot of people didn't enjoy Wilder Girls either. I think people had issues with the ending, but I'm just going into this with no expectations. I'm really hoping I'm gonna love it. I think this is about a girl named Margot. Her and her mom, they're struggling to get along. They're going back to her mom's, I think, hometown, and she's gonna like learn things about her family that she doesn't know. So I'm excited about that one. Next is this honker. Tear Me Apart by J.T. Ellison. I have read one by her. I really liked it. And then I own all the rest, but I haven't read any of them. So I picked the one, I think, that has the highest rating on Goodreads, and I added that to my TBR for this summer, fall. I actually have no idea what this is about. Okay, so it sounds like this girl gets hurt. She has to get some medical stuff done, and then she finds out that her parents aren't her parents. And obviously something has to ensue from there, because look at how many pages this is. So I'm excited about this. Let's see when it was published. 2018. I think I've had it 2 years or something like that. So it'll be nice to get it off of my TBR, and it has a 4.16 out of 11,000 reviews, so I feel like that's pretty good. Okay, next is this book, A Flicker in the Dark, was all over Bookstagram and BookTube last year. I think a lot of people have loved it and a lot of people have hated it, so I don't even know what it's about, but apparently I took it on vacation. There is literally an airplane ticket and a baggage claim sticker here. Huh. Where did I go? Phoenix. Oh, this was when we came back from Mexico and we got stuck in Phoenix for like 2 days. Sounds like a teenage girl goes missing. Her father has confessed to the crimes and was put away for life, leaving Chloe and the rest of her family to grapple with the truth and try to move forward with dealing with the aftermath. Now, 20 years later, Chloe is a psychologist and getting ready for her wedding. When a local teenage girl goes missing, and then another, that terrifying summer comes crashing back. Is she paranoid, seeing parallels from her past that aren't actually there? Or for the second time in her life, is Chloe about to unmask a killer? So I think this author's second book is about to come out or already has come out, but I'm excited to see if it lives up to the hype, because I'm pretty sure all of my friends have given it mixed reviews. Let's look at really quick. So all of my friends on Goodreads, a 5-star, 4-star, 4-star, a 3-star, a 3-star, a 4-star, a 4-star, 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 3-star, 5-star, 4-star. I mean, that's pretty good, huh? Especially for a thriller. It's hard to please everyone when it comes to thrillers, but it has a 4.02 out of 91,000 reviews. So that, I feel like, is pretty good. Next is a book that came out earlier this year, and I saw a lot of my friends talking about it. It's called The Change by Kristen Miller. It says, a gloriously sharp and funny modern saga about 3 women who discover that midlife brings a whole new type of empowerment, putting them on a collision course with the evil that lurks in their wealthy beach town. So I think it's a group of friends. I think there's some magical things happening. I've heard it's very atmospheric. It has, apparently now I'm looking at Goodreads ratings, 480 pages, jeez. It's sitting at 4.21 out of 12,000 reviews. I feel like that's super good, and it looks like it was a Good Morning America pick sometime this year. See, my friends that have reviewed it, I've given it 5-star, 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 4-star, 5-star, 4-star. So lots of 5 stars on Goodreads. So I'm excited to try this one. I think it's going to be a really good fall read. And then last is a book that I had to buy new. Last year before, and I never read it. Who else does that? It's The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I've read 2 Grady Hendrix. I like them and hate them at the same time, but I'm always wanting to come back for more. So this sounds honestly perfect for me. A fast-paced thriller horror novel that follows a group of heroines to die for, from the New York Times, blah, 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 blah. In horror movies, the final girls is the one who's left standing when the credits roll, the one who fought back, defeated the killer, and avenged her friends, the one who emerges bloody but victorious. But after the sirens fade and the audience moves on, what happens to her? So I think it's a group of final girls who get together. I'm pretty sure they start probably dying off. They will never ever give up. I know that there was some drama between Riley Sager in this because, I mean, final girls, but it doesn't matter. I'm excited to try this one. I hope it lives up to the expectations in my head. Okay, and now for my honorable mentions. I just put them, they didn't make it into my final 20 of my TBR template thing that I'll put up completed here. But they are books that I would like to try and get to. They're not exactly, well, one is, but otherwise they're not exactly like fall spooky vibes. But this one is. I just didn't have room for it. Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. I'm a little bit nervous because I haven't really seen any positive reviews for it, which is unfortunate because it's so pretty too. It sounds like something I would really like. Just Like Home is a darkly gothic thriller. Come home, Vera's mother called, and Vera obeyed. In spite of their long estrangement, in spite of the memories, she's come back to the home of a serial killer. Back to face the love she had for her father and the bodies he buried there. Coming home is hard enough for Vera, and to make things worse, she and her mother aren't alone. An artist has moved into their guest house out back and is slowly stripping Vera's childhood for spare parts. He is insistent that he isn't the one leaving notes around the house in her father's handwriting, but who else could it be? It sounds perfect for me, but I'm going to still go into it hopeful, even though people don't really seem to be liking it. Next is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which has been getting rave reviews. Everybody seems to be liking it. Thank you to the publisher for this one. I have the audiobook from Libro, so I'm going to try and do that too. It's quite large, so it's a little bit overwhelming, but I'm excited to try it. And I'm excited to listen to the audiobook because I think a lot of people have been giving it good reviews. Next are two other ones sent to me by publishers, and Bloomsbury Girls. I loved this other, the Jane Austen Society. Loved it. It was one of my favorite books of 2 years ago, and I'm excited to try this one. I know historical fiction isn't really like spooky vibes, but I do love me a good historical fiction, so I'm excited to read that one. And then the last one is another one sent to me by the publisher. It already came out, June 28th. The German Wife by Kelly Rimmer. I've seen kind of mixed things about it. I loved Kelly Rimmer's historical fiction, what's it called? The Things We Couldn't Say. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite historicals of all time. So I'm still hopeful that I'm going to enjoy this one, and I'd like to try and pick it up soon. So that is it. It's a very ambitious TBR for me, but I think it's going to be a good time. We're going to have lots of spooky vibes this fall, and I'm excited to share with you what I think about them when I'm done, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.